Help me reach 7,000 subscribers. Please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. Your feedback helps make the content better. She did it over eggs. Sunday morning, quiet kitchen, radio low. Emily tapped her fork on the rim and watched me spread jam like I was wiring a bomb wrong. That thing you do with your lips? The little click? It's irritating, she said, casual, as if we were discussing salt. I looked up. What thing? She clicked her tongue to demonstrate. That. You do it after you sip coffee. It drives me up the wall. 10 years and today's the day. I moved the mug aside. That click has seniority in this house. I'm serious, Mark. It's juvenile. Juvenile. I sat back. Noted. Anything else on the audit? That tone. The sarcasm. It's exhausting. I swallowed the reply that wanted out, replaced it with, I'll keep my mouth quiet and my lips glued, then. She pushed her plate away. See? That. If I'd known where that breakfast was headed, I would have stood up right then, taken my coffee, and carved a new map of my life on the back porch. We drove to the grocery store in silence. On the way out, the bag boy, skinny, polite, said, "Have a good one." I gave him the click just to test the myth. Emily's jaw tightened. Okay, not a fluke. At home, I started my day like always. Checked bids on the kitchen remodel I'd picked up, answered a text from my foreman about lumber, moved money around in the account. Emily banged drawers looking for a whisk that had lived in the same spot for a decade. You lose it? I asked. You were organizing again. You hide things in plain sight. It's called putting them back. She set the drawer shut. You put things back where you want them. It's controlling. I stared at the drawer. The whisk was there. You're welcome to move it. That's not the point. She left me with that smoke grenade. I let it sit. The old me would have followed, asked what I did wrong, listened for an hour, promised to buy a new whisk. The new me poured more coffee, no click, and called my foreman. Everything good, he asked. On schedule, I said. I'm cutting out at 3. We're done hosting that neighborhood wine thing every other week. If anyone asks, tell them I've got bids to close. That's tomorrow night, right? Was. Not anymore. First initiative. I scrapped a ritual that turned my Thursdays into a complaint department where I poured drinks while Emily entertained and hinted I didn't get her friends. No fight. Just off the calendar. At dinner, she brought it up as if reading my mind. Jenna texted. She's excited for tomorrow. Let her know I canceled. I told Kyle we'll meet him at the range on Saturday instead. I forked salad. New priority system. She blinked. You canceled? Without asking me. It's at our place. And I'm the one who ends up washing glasses. Thursday is off. That's petty. It's efficient. She laughed once, without humor. Since when do you act unilaterally? Since breakfast. Her lips parted like she had 8 retorts queued up. She chose, you've changed. Apparently I click less. She pushed her plate away again. Second time in one day. It wasn't about salad. The next morning I prepped a proposal in the garage. My neighbor, Mrs. Ruiz, walked by with her terrier and waved. Mark, you two coming to the block party Saturday, she called. Dropping by, I said. She smiled. Bring your famous ribs. I'll bring my quiet lips. She laughed, not knowing the joke had teeth. Inside, I heard Emily on speaker with Jenna. I don't know. He's different lately, she said. It's like he thinks whatever, I'll call you later. I leaned on the workbench and counted. 10 years of us, neat in my head. Then a new voice took a seat. It's not neat anymore. I walked inside and found her at the counter with her tablet. You need the car tomorrow? I asked. For what? For anything. I'm taking the truck at 9, out until late. Kyle and I are hitting the range, then grabbing lunch. She slid the tablet case shut. You could have asked what I'm doing first. I'm asking now. I guess I'll rearrange my life. I guess you will. She stood. Why are you like this? You started keeping score. I'm just updating the board. She shook her head and went upstairs. That was the first flare. Not the click, not the whisk, the tone that said everything I did was a problem she had to manage. By Wednesday, she found a new angle. You know you breathe loud at night, she said in bed, back to me. It's called being alive. It's snoring. You want me to book a sleep study? Don't be dramatic. I'm offering a solution. She exhaled hard. You never take me seriously. I just canceled a neighborhood event with a group that discussed oat milk like it was politics. I'm evolving. Her phone lit the room. Thumb scrolled. See, this is what I mean. You always have a joke. You're telling me I breathe wrong. Welcome to my material. Can we not do this? We are doing this. She rolled over away. Cold. That was new. Not a freeze-out. Not yet. But the HVAC had kicked on. I changed my Thursday routine without ceremony. At lunch I texted Kyle. We're on for Saturday. Also, don't bring Jenna to the house tomorrow. Wine night is done. He sent a thumbs up and a laugh emoji I didn't need. When Emily got home, she carried a bag of crackers and 2 bottles. She stopped in the entryway when she saw the living room was not arranged for guests. No extra chairs. No platter out. What are you doing? She asked. Enjoying my house. You didn't even warn me. I told you at dinner. You don't get to pull the plug like that. I just did. Her mouth took that tight shape she used on telemarketers. Fine. We'll do it at Jenna's. I'll text everyone. Text away. You're not coming? No. People will talk. Let them say I don't click anymore. She stared at me for a long second. You're trying to punish me. I'm taking my time back. She nodded like she understood. Then she tried the first soft pivot. That night, she came down with tea and 2 mugs. She settled next to me on the couch like we hadn't played tug of war all week. I overreacted Sunday, she said. The click thing was stupid. She handed me a mug. I'm stressed. Work, Jenna's drama, my sister moving. I sipped. It was my favorite chamomile. Okay. I know you help. You always help. She angled her shoulder into mine. I appreciate you, you know. I like hearing that. I don't tell you enough. No, you don't. She paused. So, maybe we compromise? I keep my wine night. You do your Saturday thing. Separate lanes, happier roads. There it was. Warm tone. I appreciate you. And then a return to the old schedule wearing a new shirt. I already canceled the standing thing, I said. We can host quarterly. Clear, simple. No gray zones. She frowned. Quarterly. Once a season. Fall is booked. Winter's yours. That's extreme. It's a calendar. She sat back when she realized the tea wasn't buying back yesterday. You're different, she said again. I nodded. I was. I had moved my line from invisible to painted. Friday at work, Dana, my boss, called me in. You look like you slept in the truck, she said. Dana's in her 50s, a straight shooter who wears steel-toe boots with a pencil skirt. You good? Home's noisy, I said. You want out of the Miller job? Brad can run point. I've got it. She watched me. You know I don't pry, but you've been solid for years. If there's something messing with your head, fix it before it walks into a job site. Message received. I started splitting my time cleaner. No late-night texting with suppliers on the couch next to Emily while she watched shows and made jokes about how I was married to my phone. When we sat, I sat because I wanted to. When I worked, I went to the garage and shut the door. By the block party, people were already reacting to the new air at our house. Mrs. Ruiz stopped me by the grill. You two okay? She asked. Emily seemed. I don't know. She made a face when I said hi. We're fine, I said. She told me you're not social lately. She tilted her head. I said good for you. Men never claim time. You should have seen her expression. She smiled. It upset her that I didn't scold you. I laughed once. Thanks for the support. Don't thank me. Keep paying my husband when he helps you lift cabinets. Emily joined with a plate. You're holding court, she said to me. Just chatting. She lowered her voice. You didn't tell Mrs. Ruiz we argued, did you? I told her I canceled wine night. She shook her head. You make everything public. You announced I breathed wrong. That was private. At 2 a.m., sure. She huffed and turned to Mrs. Ruiz. He's impossible, she said, light, like it was a joke. Mrs. Ruiz didn't laugh. He's decisive, she said. There's a difference. Emily's smile thinned. Well, I'm going to say hi to Jenna. She left, and I filed away who noticed and who didn't. Sunday night, Emily tried the second soft pivot. She brought home ribs from a place I like, set a nice table, dimmed the lights. She wore the dress I once told her made her look like a summer evening on the porch. She poured me a beer. You're bribing a witness, I said. Or I'm being nice. Which is it? Both. She grinned. I miss you. You've been sitting 3 feet from me all week. You know what I mean. Spell it. I want us back on the same page. I'll stop picking at stupid things. And the not stupid things. You're impossible, she said, but softly, a smile still in her voice. Please, take the win. I'll take the ribs. The rest will have to earn itself. She clinked my bottle with her glass. Deal. It lasted 40 hours. Tuesday night, she found a new lever. We had plans to swing by Kyle's garage so he could help me tune a carburetor on the old bike I was reviving. Emily walked in from yoga and said she promised Jenna we'd help hang a mirror. Tonight, I asked. It's not heavy. That's not the point. She opened the fridge, pulled out a seltzer. We're not teenagers, Mark. Plans can be flexible. Mine aren't. I grabbed my keys. I told Kyle 6. He has a kid. He schedules his life 15 minutes at a time. She took a sip and watched me. You're choosing Kyle over me. I'm choosing my word. She leaned against the counter. This new you is very noble. This new me is way less available. She narrowed her eyes. Why are you punishing me? That word again. What word would you like? Consequences. She blinked at that. When I got to Kyle's, he was already elbow deep in the engine. You good? He asked, not looking up. Define good. He wiped his hands on a rag. Emily texted Jenna. Jenna texted me. I'm staying neutral, but I will say this. You were a carpet. Now you're a floorboard. I'll take oak over shag. He grunted. You're not wrong to set lines. Just don't turn into a wall. I'm not a wall, I said. I'm a door with a lock. He nodded once. Fair. That week, Emily's tone changed again. Less nitpicking, more distance. She started spending longer at work, then came back with a pile of critiques anyway. We never go anywhere, she said Thursday when I was wiping the counter. We used to do new restaurants. You hate waiting for tables. We could make reservations if someone planned ahead. I plan job sites for a living. I can plan dinner. Pick a place. She checked her phone. You pick. Great. Saturday we'll go to Tall Pine. She wrinkled her nose. That's rustic. You just asked me to pick. Do you listen to me? You're allergic to success. She went upstairs without answering. The undercurrent was getting louder. Nothing I did met her moving target. My patience, the thing I used to be proud of, was a liability. My new boundary looked like defiance to her, and defiance needed to be tamed. Her birthday landed 2 weeks later. We planned a small thing at a friend's house. Kyle and Jenna, my coworker Brad with his fiancée, our neighbor Mrs. Ruiz and her husband, plus a couple from Emily's office. I grilled. People brought store-bought sides and pretended they were secret family recipes. Emily was electric. She laughed just a touch too bright, told a story with 3 extra embellishments, and scanned faces for approval. In the middle of all that, someone asked how we met. I hadn't told that story in years. It came out easy. The fall festival. Emily at a booth with a jar of candy corn and a guess the number sign. I asked her for a clue. She told me to beat it. I guessed anyway and won a mug I still use on rainy days. I asked her out, and she said she was busy until 2045. I kept showing up. She caved the night it snowed in October, and the power went out in her apartment, and my generator was humming like a cat. Everyone laughed. I didn't try to be cute. I just told it. You were beautiful and stubborn, I said. I was practical and relentless. I smiled. Bad combo to resist. People nodded, smiled. Emily smiled, too, wide, eyes shiny, soaking up the warmth like a plant in a window. Then I said, you told me no 3 times, and I kept the door open without making a scene. It worked out. She laughed, tossed her hair. Then she said it. Honestly, if I'd had a shot, I probably should have gone back to my ex, she said, breezy, like it was clever. She waited for the laugh that didn't come. The patio went quiet. Somewhere, ice clinked in a glass like a bell. It took her 1 second to realize what she'd done. 1. Faces turned to her, then to me. I felt my expression change without effort, the light going out of a room. I was talking as the man who had told a love story. I stood there as the man she had made the punchline. She did a small, nervous laugh to fill the gap. Kidding, she said. Obviously kidding. I looked at her. Then I looked at the people I'd fed, worked with, shared weekends with. I put the tongs down. You'll get that shot, I said. Tomorrow. I picked up my keys. People moved. The way people move when they're not sure whether to block or clear a path. Kyle took half a step. Jenna started. Mark, wait. It's okay, I said. I'm going to give Emily exactly what she wants. Options. Don't be. Emily started, but she didn't finish. I wasn't loud. I didn't look angry. That's what scared her. Mrs. Ruiz reached for me. You don't have to leave, she said, gentle. I do, I answered. I won't stand in a room where my life is a prop. Brad put a hand out, then thought better of it. Call me if you need anything, he said quietly. Thanks, I said. You'll all be fine. Eat the ribs. I walked to the truck, started it, and drove to a hotel on the edge of town, the kind with clean carpets and a clerk who minds her business. I paid for 2 nights. In the room, I sat on the edge of the bed and looked at the artwork of a fake tree in a fake field and thought, you drew a line. Then you stepped over it yourself. Good. Now keep walking. At 9 the next morning, I was at the county building when the doors opened. Paperwork is just chores on paper. I stood in line, filled what they gave me, asked 2 questions, and filed what needed filing. I wasn't performing. I was cleaning. From there, I drove to a storage unit, rented one, bought boxes, and headed home. I didn't call. I didn't text. I didn't ask if it was a good time. Emily's car was in the driveway. Inside, the house smelled like garlic and lemon. Candles. The table was set with chargers we only used on holidays. She wore the same dress from rib night. Hair done, eyes bright like she'd cried, and then repainted. You're early, she said, like I was late for something she'd prepared. I'm on schedule. I made lunch. She lifted a lid. Chicken piccata, her specialty. I messed up. It was a bad joke. I got flustered and I said something I didn't mean. I went to the bedroom and pulled my duffel from the closet. She followed. Can you stop for a second and listen? I am listening. Then say something. I did. Last night. She stood in the doorway. You're really going to end 10 years over one bad joke? No. Her eyes flicked. Then what are you doing? Ending it because you left a while ago, I said. You've been poking, prodding, moving goalposts, nitpicking my breath. You've been telling me, every day, that I'm not someone you like. Last night you said it out loud where others could hear. You were trying to be funny. But jokes tell the truth. That's not fair, she said. I've been stressed. I've had a lot on my plate. I'm not perfect. Neither am I. I'm just consistent. And I'm done being an unpaid project manager for your moods. That's cruel. No, it's clear. She stepped into the room. Can we please talk after lunch? I cooked. I set the table. I called Jenna and told her I messed up. She said to apologize. I'm sure she did. Please, Mark. I zipped the duffel. I have a storage unit. I'll take what's mine. The rest can be sorted. You filed? Yes. She blinked fast like she was scanning for a loophole. We can fix this. You can fix how you speak to people who feed you and show up for you. You can fix your habits. You can fix your jokes. Not our paperwork. She followed me down the hall, still playing the script where lunch made amends. She tried nostalgia next. You remember our road trip to Arizona? She asked. We stopped at that picnic table and I remember. You held my hand and said you'd never give up on me. I'm not giving up on you. I'm done accepting what you're offering. In the kitchen, she put both hands on the back of a chair like she needed to steady the room. So that's it. That's it. She looked at the meal as if it could speak up for her. Then she took her hands off the chair and raised her chin. Do you love me at all? She asked. I did, deeply, for a long time, I said. I still respect the woman I married. She doesn't live here anymore. She flinched at that. Then she went for the last card, the one people play when they run out of words. So you don't care about 10 years, she said, voice rising for the first time. You're willing to toss them for one mistake. You've been tossing them piece by piece. I just collected what was left. She stood there in the doorway while I packed my tools, my boots, my shirts. I left the things that didn't matter. The ugly lamp from her aunt, the bookshelf I always wanted to replace, the wedding album that belonged equally to both of us and therefore to neither right now. When I got to the front door, she called after me, sharp. Are you seriously ending all of this over one bad joke? She shouted from the kitchen. Are you really that cold? What happened to not quitting on us? What happened to love? You can't just walk away. I opened the door, turned, and gave her the only answer I owed. You walked away a while back. You just finally did it with an audience, I said. Yesterday was the first honest thing you've said in months. I closed the door behind me, not hard, not soft, just closed. Then I walked to the truck and started it. I didn't look back to see if she watched from the window. Some scenes don't get a second take. After that, life got simple and busy. I let the paperwork do its job. We met once with a mediator to split what needed splitting. We sold the house. The market was decent. It moved fast. We divided the proceeds down the middle. I rented a small place with a garage and signed up for more work than was wise. Dana raised an eyebrow and gave me the cruise to handle it. You're chasing something, she said in the office, flipping a folder shut. I'm building something, I answered. Same motion, different fuel, she said. Just don't run out. I didn't. I ate late, slept early, and kept my routines clean. I started lifting with Brad before work twice a week because I needed to burn the extra electricity. He didn't ask prying questions. He spotted. I pushed. We left. On Fridays, Kyle dragged me to a bar with decent wings and bad music. You're not going to sit in a box by yourself all year, he said. That's an order. I hate your orders, I told him. Everyone hates my orders. They still work. He and Jenna had their own rhythm. She took Emily's side for a while, then stopped bringing it up when I didn't engage. She told me you were cruel, Jenna said one night, neutral tone, eyes on her drink. I was clear. She said you canceled her life. I canceled my participation in parts of it. Jenna nodded, like she finally understood. She's moving, she said. Where? North, closer to her sister. She said she needs support. She'll find what she needs. Jenna sighed. She doesn't have many people left here, she said. After the party, people saw her different. People saw her true, I said. I didn't ask for updates after that. The point of a line is that you don't cross it to check on the weather. In the meantime, things gathered themselves. I bought a used truck that didn't rattle at highway speed. I fixed the carburetor on the bike and rode it to a coffee shop on Sunday mornings where the owner knew I took it black and kept a stool for me by the window. The house sale gave me a chunk to aim at a new place. I made a spreadsheet, ugly and effective. I looked at listings with a little yard and a garage I could turn into a proper shop. Friends pulled me into small adventures. A fishing trip where we said nothing for 6 hours and caught one fish. A baseball game where we left in the eighth because traffic was a mess. A volunteer day building a ramp for a vet on the other side of town. Working with strangers who just needed a strong back reminded me what I liked about people. I met a woman named Claire at a birthday dinner for Brad. She asked what I did. I told her. She asked what I liked to do when I wasn't doing that. I said, apparently this. She laughed and said she hated small talk. We talked about cities we'd never been to and recipes we'd failed. I didn't ask for her number. I did not ask either. I just left when I was ready and told Brad to invite me again next time. Some nights were quiet in the way quiet can itch. I'd look at the stack of boxes I hadn't opened and consider whether to go through the one with the old photos. Then I'd turn off the light and let the past stay in its cardboard. I heard from Emily once, a month after the sale closed. A polite text. I moved. Thanks for making the process civil. I typed, take care. Then I deleted it and typed, you're welcome. It said what needed saying and nothing extra. Jenna mentioned in passing that Emily didn't keep much of our social circle. Her coworker friends stayed coworkers. The neighborhood wasn't hers anymore. She posted photos with her sister's kids and a pie that didn't look baked through. I didn't check the account. Jenna showed me by accident. I handed her phone back without comment. Do you ever think you'll? I don't know. Jenna started. No, I said. I did what I should have done. You don't regret anything? I regret waiting for a public moment to act. I should have acted when I started measuring my breathing. Jenna winced. That was low. It was accurate. Do you think you'll date? When I want to, not because I'm bored. She nodded. Good answer. Here's what I'll tell you if we're sitting at a table and you ask why I didn't try harder. Trying is cheap when the other person is busy keeping you off balance. I don't need to win an argument about my tone or my habits to know whether I'm respected. I don't need to lecture someone into treating me like a partner. I do need to leave when I'm turned into a prop. 10 years were good until they weren't. We had real laughter, real work, real plans. I don't throw those out. I file them under experience and move on. I believed in the woman I married because she showed me who she was. I stopped believing when she showed me who she'd become. Now I'm looking at a little house on Maple with a porch that needs sanding and a garage with a cracked slab I can fix. My crew is solid. Brad's getting married in the fall. Kyle's kid is starting t-ball, and I'm the designated guy to fix helmets that pinch. Claire texts about a new coffee place, and I text back that the old one works fine, but sure, I'll try it. I keep my lines painted. I go where I'm respected. If love shows up again, it'll find a man who knows exactly how quiet he wants his nights and how loud he's willing to celebrate. It will find a man who doesn't bargain with his dignity or perform for a room to keep someone else comfortable. As for Emily, I hope she figures out what she actually wants. I hope the people around her tell her the truth when she starts testing the fences. I hope she learns that attention is not oxygen, and that jokes land better when they're not aimed at the person who would have torn down a wall to bring in more light. Do I miss the mug from that fall festival? Sometimes. It got lost in the shuffle. I drink from an ugly one now, chipped at the lip. It holds coffee just fine. I make the same click sometimes after the first sip. No one complains. When the sound echoes in my kitchen, it sounds like a metronome, steady mine. And if someone at my table ever says it's irritating, I'll smile, push back my chair, and show them the door that's already open. If you watched to the end, you probably enjoyed the story. How about subscribing and hitting like? And share your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely read them, and they matter to me.